You ever feel like life is happening around you and not with you? Like you're watching your own story from the sidelines. The conversations, the laughter, the moments of recognition, everyone else seems present, alive, while you drift in the background. And the worst part? You can't even fully explain why you feel invisible. It's more than shyness or social awkwardness. It's subtle. It's in the way people overlook your suggestions at work, or how friends remember stories from everyone else, but not yours. You speak, but the echo feels thin, like your words barely land. You scroll through social media, see life after life happening in full color, and wonder why your own feels dim. This feeling seeps into how you see yourself. You start thinking you don't matter. Maybe you catch yourself agreeing to things you don't want just to not rock the boat. Maybe you laugh when others are praised, but avoid attention yourself. Or maybe, even when alone, you replay conversations and wonder if you said too much or too little. And there's a pattern here, one rooted deep in how your brain evolved. It's not about being weak, it's about survival. The truth is, your brain is wired to scan the environment for acceptance and threat simultaneously. Social mammals, like humans, survive by belonging. Being overlooked wasn't just uncomfortable in ancestral times. It could mean missing resources or protection. So your brain learned to shrink yourself, to reduce the chance of being noticed in ways that could backfire. This isn't a flaw, it's an adaptation. Your tendency to fade into the background was once a protective strategy. You became quietly observant. You learned to read others, notice subtle cues, and avoid unnecessary conflict. It's just that the world you live in now rewards visibility, not invisibility. And that creates tension, because the part of you that learned to stay small still lives in you. Here's what happens in your brain. There's a part called the amygdala, your alarm system. It detects social risk. Every glance, every tone, every judgment triggers micro-alerts. And then there's the prefrontal cortex, your internal critic, that interprets these alerts as "I'm not enough," even if they're just neutral. Over time, these repeated signals wire your brain to self-minimize, almost automatically. Think of it like a radio. Your brain is scanning hundreds of channels at once. It locks on to static, tiny cues of disapproval, and mutes your own signal to avoid interference. The result? You feel backgrounded, like your presence isn't fully transmitting. The challenge is that your brain isn't wrong, it's just working on old programming. But understanding this mechanism opens a door. You are not broken. You are simply operating on survival wiring designed for a different world. And now we can consciously choose how to adjust that signal. Here's a framework to shift your presence step by step, grounded in psychology. First, notice your signal. This is mindfulness applied to identity. Pay attention when you shrink, when you defer, or when you fade in a conversation. Naming it engages the prefrontal cortex, giving you conscious control over automatic amygdala responses. Example, in a meeting, you catch yourself staying silent. Pause, notice the urge, and mentally label it, "I am fading," to avoid judgment. This small act starts rewiring the brain. Second, small acts of visible participation. Social psychologists call this behavioral activation. Even tiny actions,